right, St. Louis. First of all, I want to say good evening, St. Louis. We're going to go to school, St. Louis. We're going to go deeper than we've traveled since I've been posting, St. Louis. It's time. I think we're ready. I think we're ready to take it deeper, so we can all come to the realization that we've been deceived. And it's not necessarily that we've been deceived. It's just that we didn't have the mind to understand that we didn't understand. Unfortunately, I'm beginning to believe that the human mind is in its infancy state. It's just like a child. But yet it doesn't know it's a child, because it sees its children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and as a result of seeing generation after generation after generation, it established who was the parents. But I'm beginning to believe that we never left the system. So as a result, we had to build who we were in the system based upon children and adults, but yet the system itself consists of one sound, and that sound leads towards death and never leads towards birth. So what we've done, we've built our home in the system, and as a result of building our home in the system, we established families in the system, but yet we never completed the course. In other words, we started having sex and having babies before we had reached a mature state, but yet we didn't know there was a place that we needed to go, so we stayed in the system and we never left the system. It's like a prison. It's a prison that produces a certain sound of negative carbon emissions, fossil fuels, and poison. And we never knew it was something greater than what we knew, because we had not made it out to be able to get a glimpse of what we never had. Just imagine a group of people living inside of a box. The box is just as broad as the universe, but conservation of energy plays a very important role, because there's a beginning and there's also an ending. In other words, when they are born in the box literally has nowhere to go but the grave, because they're losing power. So subsequently, it's been categorized as or considered to be old age, because they never leave it. Some people leave it at 50, 60, 70, 80. Some people might last as long as 100 years old, but the ones that last 100 have not the mental clarity to be able to do the things that those that have lived 50 to 60, but yet they are living to be 100. So everyone's trying to reach that level of life, but yet they fail to realize they're going the wrong way. In other words, in order to leave the box, you have to contract inward. And as a result, you would leave the box based upon your contraction, meaning your sound. It's comparable to a supernova or a black hole. But yet the physicists and cosmologists don't necessarily understand the black hole, because they have not the capacity to understand it. And the reason they lack the capacity, because they're dying every day. They're dying daily. So how can you understand something if you don't have a perpetual motion machine to separate you from the something in which you're trying to understand? How can you understand it and you're in the what you're trying to understand? You're made of the same substance. So as a result, you're having fun, you're having parties, you're building houses, and based upon your inability to leave the system, you need medication because you're getting sick. You need nursing homes, you need a graveyard, you need policemen because of the mental instability that the people are having based upon their thyroid glands not operating as quick as it should, so it can cause the chemicals, the serotonin and the dopamine, to be able to do what it needs to do. And that's what's so unfortunate. So the system itself is not functioning properly. And as a result, we got the doctors, but yet the doctors don't realize that they don't know, because they are also a part of the system. So the people that are sick are working on those that are sick. It's like the dead are working on the dead, and nobody reached the level of life to be able to tell them what they must do in order to leave the system. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that we have not reached the level of understanding to know that we never understood. However, I want to believe that we have the capability of exceeding where we dwell. It's no different than the Neanderthals. They dwelled in the box. So as time progressed, we became more intellectually astute than the Neanderthals, but yet we never left the box. So therefore, that tells me those that come after us are going to consider us to be comparable to how we considered the Neanderthals primitive. But yet we have nuclear power satellites and computers, whereas the Neanderthals didn't have that level of technology. So we looked at ourselves as being brilliant. But yet, those that come after us, and those that come after them that come after us, and those that come after them that comes after them that comes after us, are going to look at us as though we looked at the Neanderthals as we were primitive and animalistic. What am I saying? I'm saying that all is not as it appears. We are following gods that are not gods. We came up with deities, and as a result of coming up with these deities, we never reached our perfect state of awareness. I mean, think for a second. I mean, if we consider ourselves to be children of the Most High, and we're doing nasty things, and we acknowledge these things as okay, that tells you we hadn't reached the perfect sound, because in the box, entropy, the laws of thermodynamics, cause and effect, chaos rules. So the nasty things become acceptable. And as a result of the nasty things becoming acceptable, we built our house with those things. And as a result, we literally became territorial, and now we have wars and rumors of wars in different countries fighting one another because we are in such disarray and disorder. Just imagine if we can remove the entropy from the box, meaning make the box a vacuum. And as a result of making the box a vacuum, or removing the entropy from the box, just ounce at a time, before you know it, you have no entropy. That would cause us to stop time, because we would be able to see and measure the position and the velocity of an object. We formulated physics, electrical physics, subquantum kinetic. We came up with medicine, all while we were in the box. It makes sense, because you can't think beyond where you dwell. So as a result, that became your place of residence. Not only has that become your place of residence, that will be your resting place. Until you come up and begin to understand that you are Alpha and Omega. You are the beginning and the end. You are first and the last. We must literally manifest the power to be able to warp space and time, and literally bring space down here. And in order to do that, you must strengthen in mind. If You can reach the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second, 11 kilometers a second. You will be able to break free from the earth gravity, and it will cause you to ascend, and you wouldn't have to leave as they leave in rockets and in space shuttles, because your level of mind will be able to extrapolate and encode at a level in which you didn't know that you were capable of encoding, and as a result, you will be able to see things face to face. We must come to the realization that all is not as it appears. We've been tossed to and from, and the time has come for us to say all or nothing. We don't have to live in fear. The only thing we need to do is literally develop in mind, and as a result, we will change our place in space and time. I'm trying St. Louis, Chi-Town, Alabama, Georgia, New York, Florida. I'm trying, but trust me, I know something not many know, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna help you to know so we can work collectively together. That's black, white, Asian, Hispanic. Because once we come to the realization that we are all one at the micro level, we will be able to fuse, literally fuse at the micro. And as a result, we will change our place on earth. We will be in the world, but we will not be of the world. And the reason that is so is because we would be encoding at a level in which we never thought was possible. In other words, it's impossible to know that something is impossible until you have the mind to bring the impossible. And once you bring the impossible, trust me, you will never go back and think that it was impossible, because it will now become possible. Only thing I can leave you with, you ain't seen nothing yet. I know more than you think. Time is now. And remember one more important fact. I love you all. God bless. And stay tuned. Trust me, you ain't seen that yet.